I want to thank Judge Harold Staffelt for changing my life. I grew up in a small town. I'm originally from Winamac, which is about 100 miles north of Indianapolis. When I was in high school in the summertime, I used to go down to the courthouse, and the judge would say, "Why are you here?" And I said, "You know what? I want to understand how this works." Fast forward, I get out of high school, I go to Purdue, I'm accepted into the School of Pharmacy. I'm about 3 years into a 5-year program, and I'm home one weekend, and I'm at church, and after the sermon, the judge comes over to me and said, "Bobby, I always thought you should have been a lawyer. And the Ford Pinto trial is going to be venued down to Winamac in the next couple months."
The time, 6:35 p.m. A Chevy van traveling about 50 miles per hour slammed into the rear of the 73 Pinto. Trooper Neil Graves told the court 2/3 of the car was scorched. Inside, 2 bodies. Outside, a third. The prosecution is trying to prove that the Pinto design made rupture of the tank likely in rear-end collisions.
I sat down in the gallery. Up stands James Neal.
Ford attorney James Neal came back fighting. In his opening arguments, he said his best defense is that the designers of the Pinto bought the car for their own use. He said they are not reckless killers.
By the time he's done, this was a guy you wanted to have a steak with on a Friday night. You felt like you'd known him for 30 years. That trial took 2.5 months, but I think it was over the first day because of the rapport that he built with that jury.
The beginning of the end came early this morning. The lights burned until 3 a.m. in the courthouse. Not guilty of reckless homicide. Attorney James Neal summed up the motor company's reaction.
I'm grateful, relieved, proud.
I left Winamac, went back to Purdue, and I thought, you know what? I'd like to be an attorney. And off I went to Villanova Law School. My father was a simple man. One thing I quote him all the time on is, never take a short-term view to a long-term situation. When clients come in, they're already under stress. They don't come to see a lawyer unless they've got a problem to solve. And I never want to take a case that I can't help somebody with.
My husband and I, we're small business owners here in Indianapolis. We were looking for a business attorney that would be able to walk us through the steps that we needed to do for our healthcare businesses. And we were recommended Bob and the Nice Law Firm from a friend of ours who was also an attorney, and he came very highly recommended. When we met with Bob, we just knew right away he made us feel very comfortable. He was really knowledgeable and he was able to answer all of our questions. If I could take away one thing from working with Bob, it would just be his commitment to quality. He's always been able to help us out with any questions that we have. He has so many years of experience, and he's kind and accessible and compassionate, and he also is very tough when he needs to be. So in my mind, he's the perfect mix of an attorney for anyone who's looking for help. I would highly recommend the Nice Law Firm.
What brought me to the Nice Law Firm was guidance and direction for our multiple businesses. In today's litigious world, it seems that you can't move left or right without some kind of direction and guidance, which we got from the Nice Law Firm on a regular and consistent basis. Bob always had the ability to bring things down to the level that it was easy for us to understand and comprehend and be able to make decisions soundly. As a part of the success, my wife and I, after operating our businesses for 20 years, we now have truly the opportunity to live the American dream.
It's been said that ambition is good, but commitment is better. If there's one thing I'd like a client to take away from this video, is to understand the commitment of every member of the Nice Law Firm team. Understand that we care a lot about your matter now, we care about our reputation, and we care about doing good work for all the people that we serve. My name is Bob Nice. We at the Nice Law Firm have represented over 6,000 individuals and entities in the last 3 decades, and we would love to add you to that list.